Welcome back again. Today we have the second to last day, Lake Bluff. This is the 9th day. At this point, I am pretty well cooked at this point, but average 267 watts, 319 normalized, pretty big difference, 25.7 miles an hour. So pretty quick considering the amount of overcast and rain we were starting to get towards the end of the race, which plays a lot to what happens. So I decided to lay down a absolute metric shitload of watts off the start just because I want to be in front and kind of do what I did in West Indy and just absolutely string out this field the first lap. What I don't want to do is make a mistake, end up 40 wheels back, and then battle the whole way to the front, for the entirety of the race. I did that 2 years ago, and I got gapped off the back and took 28th place or something. Last year I was battling and got my way to the front group. I actually had a better result last year than this year. But this year I was trying something a little different. So we're doing some big watts, big power. First lap. This is a classic course. This used to be the ACC course for the American Criterium Cup. That is now Fulton, which is the last day. But we have the first corner we went through is kind of a hairpin. You can't pedal through it, but there's a lot of runoffs. So you can carry a ton of speed. Corner 2 is kind of like that left. It's really light. It's pretty chill. Then we have a 90-degree right, 90-degree left, and then 2 more 90-degree lefts, and this is onto the front straight. That front straight, not the straight, but the last corner had a bit of a pothole with the asphalt having a sharp edge, and if you hit that, you'd puncture. In fact, my teammate had the pleasure of hitting that with basically no free laps left to go, and his race was over. So, first lap, we're doing big power, big watts. I'm going against this railing just for fun here, but trying to string it out, and I think it did pretty well. And we're going to follow one more lap. We'll watch what happens. I'm getting aero, going fast, 28. This is a slight false flat uphill the entire straightaway. This is the highest point of the course right here. This kind of hairpin-esque, but you can see a lot of space. You can carry a lot of speed through it. Looking backwards, we can see the field is pretty well strung out, which is exactly what my plan was. For the amount of watts I've been doing, a 170 heart rate's not very high. I felt pretty fatigued at this point. This is 9 days straight of racing. I'm in charge of the team tent, getting it built up every day. I mean, I got to the course this morning at like 8:15. My race wasn't until after 12 o'clock. So just overall tired, out of dopamine, but we're still racing our bikes, having fun. But this is a great course, pretty tight. There's like little wooden curbs here on the right, covered in that place carpet, and then it's a bit of there you can see it on the right here. And there's a bit of a dip right there. I wanted to go a little bit left of it. Also, it kind of stopped people from trying to pass up the inside into this corner, which always causes just absolute havoc. So, great corner. You can run it wide. You can go on this gravel here. It's not really a big deal. A little pop-up onto the driveway back onto this, I guess, last straightaway before the main straightaway. But that is the opening 2 laps of Lake Bluff Cat 4. As we go into the front straight, I am happy with my work. 2 full laps on the front, absolutely cooking, doing some good speed. And then I think I look back here and I'm trying to get people to come around me because I don't want to keep putting down all the power. I mean, we're still doing 400 watts, so pretty good. Here we go. This guy's nice slow move. I think that's Paul. That's a nice move. And then this dude I think comes up the left side, just absolutely dropping insane watts. And I don't know why people do this. This is full on sprint, like it's the last lap. Crazy. This guy always has the orange and Irish. Good rider. Race with him a lot. But I guess more people are coming around me than I expected. I was hoping it wouldn't be like this extreme, but basically go back 10 wheels, and this is kind of what I expected. I was not cooked, but I definitely, obviously that was a pretty big effort the first 2 laps, but that's what I wanted to happen. So we'll jump ahead. We'll see what happens in this race. For the most part, it was actually a pretty mellow race. There was really no crashes I could see. I think a lot of the field got gapped off the back right off the start, but we had over 60 riders in this race. Good race, but as you can see, we started getting a little bit of precipitation, and as you know, if you've been following my racing series and career, I broke my collarbone and shoulder blade in April, and so I had no interest whatsoever of going down, and this is the second to last day, and I haven't gone down yet in grid, so I was not willing to take any risks. But what you'll notice in the full videos, I leave this big sprinters gap, and there was everyone wanted to get up in each other's stuff, but you could carry so much speed through this, and if you're right on their back wheel, like I'm coasting all through this, still coasting, and then finally doing some power, and then people would just hit the brakes and go slow through that corner. And so I would try to leave a gap into the second to last corner, kind of, you know, follow NorCal's guidance of you know, just coasting up into the back of the people in front of you. But this is always a pain. Coming out of this corner, you're dropping 600-700 watts just to maintain into the draft. 800, almost 900. It hurt. It hurt. This little uphill falls flat. Maybe it says 1%, 2%. That's probably accurate. 3% doubt it. I think it's more of a 1-2%. But it's uphill the whole way, all the way to start finish, and that's about when it flattens out. So we'll jump ahead and see what else is cooking in this race. All right, so we're 17 minutes into this race, and we're coming out of the last corner. And I think this is a good example of how to actually move up at Lake Bluff. So we're gonna have a guy. I did a huge amount of watts, 800-900 watts out of the last corner, sustaining 600 plus. He decides he's going to drop a big one. I think this is Gary House, and I'm sorry if I got your name wrong. So, you know, he's creating a draft, and he just basically opened up the entire inside line. Everyone else is getting a draft. I've been slowly passed by a lot of riders throughout this race, and I'm like, all right, we're starting to get sort of towards the end. I just want to move up and kind of reset myself. And I like doing this about 2/3 into the race, because now I know where my legs are at. In this case, my legs were a little bit tired, but you know, the inside line there, I mean, look at how many wheels you can go up, and then you just rail it really close. And I've got, you know, I went from basically 25, almost 30 wheels back to being in the top, probably, what, 1, 2, 5, 6, 7 riders, 8 riders. And that's pretty much how you do it. Lake Bluff, that's the best place to pass. On this little straightaway down into the, what I would call the third corner, sometimes the outside line you could go around if there's a big amount of people on the inside. See, like this red rider here in the Madonna, I think that's a Team Wisconsin guy. You could rail that, kind of fun, hit the outside, and then you're pretty much stuck here unless you want to do some big watts on this next little straightaway. But I'm kind of coasting off the back. I'm not in any rush to really catch back on. So a little 700 watt dig, that's bigger than I probably wanted to do. But again, avoiding that bump right there, come back over. But you know, I think this is a good place. This is where if you know how to corner, you can make up a bunch of time and just kind of flow through this nicely, carry out a bit more speed, and catch into the draft like I didn't do right now. So horrible example on my part, but that's kind of my game plan a lot of this race. All right, so we're only a few seconds later, and this Fairlife guy, the milkman, comes up the left side. I'm like, you know, I'm gonna hop on this wheel and kind of do that exact same thing again. So I'm getting back some of the riders that got around me on the lap, and I'm just gonna follow this wheel. 300, less than 400 watts, passing 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. So I'll get this free draft right up to the front here. We're top 5, 6, I guess there's a few more guys up there, but top 7 wheels. And unfortunately, he screws up his corner, and we're gonna zoom out here. He turns in too soon, pushes me out, almost hit that guy, and so that was almost a giant accident. I apologized, but you know, some guys, you know, you gotta know what you're doing, and I'm glad everyone was paying attention. It was just kind of an awkward circumstance, and I'm sorry to the guys that were on the outside of me. I wasn't trying to do anything stupid. I just got pushed wide by the milkman in front of me. So we'll jump ahead. All right, so we are coming into 1 lap to go, and I have not really positioned myself in the best place. I'm honestly not feeling the best, just tired, mentally not with it. Started sprinkling kind of hard, you can see, with a bit more liquid on the lens, and guys, I'm not gonna lie, I lost the edge in this race. Did not want to crash, had no interest. I'm 20 wheels back. I ended up 23rd in this race, but my buddy Matt, who I actually been following for a lot of the race, says, get on my wheel. And I'm like, okay, bet, why not? We'll send it. So he's gonna do this big effort. He's on Team El Dente, which for a bike team is hilarious. I don't know how they got a pasta name, but I guess they are. I think he's from Indy, or maybe he's moving to Sycamore. He's a super great guy. Bought me a beer after this race. But so I follow him to the front. I should have been right on his wheel, and that was my mistake. We're going into the last lap. My heart rate's at 190 right now. I just, seriously, I think I just cooked myself too much with those opening 2 laps, and yeah, just kind of lost the edge with this. But we're about to actually see the only crash I saw for the whole race on the right side here. Zoom in. Dude ends up just that. I had hit my brakes. You know, I didn't slow down too much, but it kind of spooked me, and those guys are chatting up ahead. Phil's right here, so you know, he's been doing really well. So if I'm next to him, and I'm not really in the worst of spots. We got the Evolution guy on my inside, so we're still probably 10 wheels back. We're way too far to contest the podium, but at this point, I got spooked by that. I'm tired and fatigued, and I honestly, I kind of just back off. I'm not super into this. And with the rain, you know, there's a million excuses. Everyone has one, and they all smell, all stink, right? So here's our very popular yellow shirt guy. He's been in the whole series with us on that wind space with that crazy, I think that's a Garbunk chain ring, that purple, kind of cool looking. I really like those. But this is the normal Lake Bluff finish. You know, everyone sprints down this straightaway, kind of dive bombs the last corner, and then you just do this giant sprint uphill. I do a bit of a sprint. Just, again, not really feeling it, kind of lost the edge, not in a good position, and yeah, let's see what we end up doing. We hit 1,000, 1,100, not too bad. I can definitely hit more during other races, but I'm not really in the draft. This slide uphill just takes it out of you if you're not, in really good shape. And unfortunately, I've put on a bit of weight since my crash. And then these guys all come around me. Nice job on them. I turn it off early. I'm not trying to get crashed out at the line. No thank you. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. And we got one more video for the Chicago Grid Series.